Hello and welcome. So in this video, we'll see what are basically the effect of the states being passed as probes to the component. And in the last video, we saw that how can we pass the probe, how can we what type of data and what type of objects and numbers and string we can pass in as prop to the component, and how can we access the value, we can use the value and we cannot change the value of the, and we cannot change the props are read only, right? So the output was something like this, and this a3 and 2023 are passing as the prop over here, right? You can see, so the car is in garage, right? So in this video, I'll show you how can we pass the state as a prop to the component, and what are the effect if we change the value, right? So let's see, we have a car component and we have a garage component over here. So in the car component, we have two props: car, brand, and model. So let's do it like this, and prop dot brand and prop dot model, right? So car is in garage now, and prop dot brand and prop dot model, and we can pass the brand equals brand and model equals model. So now we are passing actually the states, like the variables, like you can see over here, right? So what it says that styles are okay, I see. So basically we have to remove these styles over here, right? Now the output will look something like this. Audi model of car is 2024, and this is basically the car component over here, two headings. And now in the garage component, we have car is in garage now, and car is Audi, and model of car is 2024. So now we are passing the states in to the as a prop, as prop to the garage component. You can see this is how we can pass the states. So what is the effect? Actually, we can't see over here like this, but let me show you what. So basically we have, let's say we have a print statement over here, console.log. We are in car component, right? So let me show you now. We are in the car component, and let me show you what is basically the effect if we are passing the props, right? So if we inspect, and let me show you the console over here. So let me load it again, and you can see we are in the car component, and just we are basically seeing the two print statement over here, because the application is in the strict mode, and in the strict mode basically it compiles and it runs the component, renders the component two times to check and very confirm that there is no error, right? You can see one is in the black and one is in the gray. So this is basically, you can assume that this is one time we are saying as print. So we are in the car component. So the car component will be loaded, and then the garage component will be loaded, and we can print over here as well, console.log, and we can do like we are in garage component. So let me remove the strict mode so that we have, uh, okay. So basically in index.js, okay, just remove the strict mode, and we will see now only one time. So we are in the car component, and in the car component we call the garage component, right? car component, and in the car component we call the garage component over here, and the garage, we are in the garage component. So and we are using the states, states passed as probes, like this. So we know that we cannot change the value of these state in which are passed as probes. So brand will be the state in this component, but once the brand is passed as like this in the to the garage component, it will become the probe, and we cannot change the probe. Let me show you. So basically, if I want to change the value of the probe, so what we will do, this probe dot, let's say brand, and I want to change the value of the brand to, let's say we can do like this, Sonata, and you can see that read only property cannot be changed, right? So how then, there would be any scenario, there could any scenario arise, or some logic or the problem may arise that we want to pass the probes, and we want that the child component, like the garage, change the value to this probe based on some condition or something, right? So let's say we have a button over here, and on click equals something like uh, handle click, and handle click is the method over here, right? So handle click, and we have something like this, and we want that it change the value to the probe. Okay, so we can do like, so so basically, while defining the state, we know that we define the setter function for the state as well to change the value of the state. So we can pass this setter method in props as well. Set brand equals to set brand. So this is the name of the prop, and this is the setter method we are passing over here. So we want to change the brand name, right? So how can we do that? So we can do like prop dot set brand to what we want, change it to Sonata, right? So let's see if it works or not. So there is a, okay, so button and click to change brand, or just change brand. So this is the now you can see. So let me show you, so there are basically two concepts: how can we change the state value, and what is the effect if we change the value of the state in the like the component to which the state are passed as props. So setter method over here, and let me show you now. So you can see we are in the car component and we are in the garage component. This is the initial, so let me remove it. So once I will press it, and the car, you can see that Sonata, the brand is has been changed over here, right? But what is the effect if I change the value of the state passed as probe in the in this component? So you can see that we are in the car component and we are in the garage component, both are re-rendered. So why is that? Because we have changed the value of the like the state of the car component, which has passed as the prop in the to the garage component over here. We are changing the value in the child component in the garage component, right? Which you can assume like a garage child component, because garage is being called in the car component. So we are changing the value of the brand over here. So once the brand value will be changed, so it reflects the, we know that whenever a state changes, the component is re-rendered. So brand is defined in which component? In the car component. The brand value is changed in the garage component, so it reflect will move upward, right? So here the brand is defined over here, it will be re-rendered because its value is changed in the garage component. And once it is re-rendered, then garage component will also be re-rendered again. That's why we can see over here we are in the car component and we are in the garage component. We know that we are changing it in the garage component, but we are saying that we are in the car component is printed over here as well. Why is that? Because the value is being changed in the garage component and it will reflect and its change will be uprooted, right? So car will be re-rendered, car component will be re-rendered, and we are calling the garage component, and garage will be re-rendered, will be called again as well. So that's why we are seeing over here. So this is okay, but actually one more thing is that how can we avoid this additional re-rendering? What is the effect of this and how can we avoid this? Basically these are very small, and basically the static headings and some headings are uh, we are returning in the components. But let's assume that it's an API call or it's something big calculation, thousands of like multiplications being calculated, and over here some API or some other function being called over here which is taking much of the time, like 2 minutes. So in that case, the car will be rendered again, re-rendered, and the garage will be re-rendered again. So it will cause the performance issues because we know that we are changing the state of this component, but this garage component is being re-rendered additionally. We don't want to like we don't want this, we don't want to re-render additionally. It will be expensive to us, right? So we can avoid this using some other techniques and methods. We will discuss it later, but for now you have to grasp this concept that once we how can we change the value of the state passed to the component in that component. How can we change the value of the state, right? Which in which component the state are passed as probes, and how can what is the effect if we change the value of the state in the child component, right? So that's all. Thank you very much.